Celestial greetings. This is another chakra infusion with the moon, with this particular full moon in Capricorn in this 7-day window, where today's chakra infusion is third eye. One of my favorites. It is a third eye day. So you know we are well on our way. And this is my favorite one. This is the one that I'm most sharp at. For anyone who knows me knows my third eye. I'm quick and sharp with that discernment, cutting right through the BS, because I love revelation time. So this third eye, which is really about allowing, the theme that I'm hearing resonating is allowing the revelation. Now, for those who have not seen any of the chakra infusions, you may want to watch one of the previous ones. But simply, to put it simply put, the chakra infusion is when you infuse the chakras that we're using within this 7-day window, going from the root going up. And today, being on the third eye, we're on the 6th day. So 6 step up, that's the third eye. And the second chakra, usually we look at, if you've seen the other ones, it's always 2 different chakras. And the second one is usually the day that it falls on according to the 5D calendar, which would be today is a third eye day. That's why what makes it a third eye day, which falls on a Wednesday. For those of you who have the calendar, you'll look at it and you'll see it says third eye day for the Wednesday. So with that said, this brings us to our third eye day of allowing revelations to come your way. And so the thing to know about the double ones that I like to mention, because it's where we're supposed to put our focused concentration. It is the leading chakra, the operative chakra in this particular full moon work. And then you may have the next one is the tight. It's not a tight flip. Like if you've seen any of the early ones, you may have seen the sacral solar, and then the very next day a solar sacral. That's what I call a tight flip between the two. And that is where it needs to be worked out. It's telling you that between these 2 chakras, it is the tight work between these 2 that are going to help through the process. However, the one where there is a double chakra, like in this case, it is the focus attention on this particular chakra, meaning that this is the leading chakra. So with that said, we are focusing on allowing the revelation. That means in this particular full moon, we are to really be able to come up. And if we utilize the tight flip between the sacral and the solar, it is going to help us with what needs to be revealed. Because a lot of times we're blocked by what we don't want to feel in the sacral and who we don't want to be in the solar. If you see how that plays out. So with those 2, it strongly helps the focus of the third eye. So, and you can utilize this throughout the next full moon or new moon. I use them with both, going down and going up, but this is particularly with this full moon. So with that said, this chakra is really about allowing, as I said, the revelation. So if you have not allowed the revelation, it hinders you. You have to allow. I don't like to tell people what they got to do, but when we allow the revelation to come through, then the healing then comes as well. What blocks it sometimes is not wanting to. Like some people may have headaches, migraines. You may suffer that because you don't allow the information to come through. You don't allow the insight and the intuition, right? And so what you do is, even though we may sense some things, we don't follow what we sense. And so usually it's because we don't want to see what we want to see, and we wanted things to be the way we want it to be. And that often blocks or collides or clashes with what this chakra is here to do, which is to bring the revelation to you and through you so that you can see you and be the true you. Ashe? So with that said, without further ado, let me go right into the message, the mini message with this chakra. Besides allowing the revelation, the message is to break. The operative thing we want to do is to break the illusion to allow true insight. That is what we're doing. This is how we take from one chakra. Usually when it's separate chakras, and those of us who've been doing the meditation, we listen to a combination meditation of the 2. In this case, it's just the third eye chakra one. And you put your left hand on one chakra that you're receiving from, the first one, and you put your right hand where you're giving into. So the one that you're receiving is what you want to transmute and pull out what you don't need in order to take the elevated aspects of that chakra and pour it into the next one. In this case, you're in the third eye. So what you're doing is putting both hands in that area, preferably left over right, spirit over flesh type of thing. And what you're doing is you're on the inhale, you're breathing in everything, working tightly with the indigo light, but you're breathing in what you want to transmute and break the illusions of, and bring that into the higher aspects of the third eye, which is to allow this true insight, right? And have that pour into supporting furthermore the highest aspects of the third eye, to support the third eye being at its greatest potential, which is intuition, being able to follow and flow in your intuition, so that basically follow your intuition so that you can flow in your wisdom. Ultimately, that is the highest degrees of the third eye, when you are seated on your throne of wisdom by following that intuition. So it's really breaking illusions to allow true insight and intuition. So with that said, here is how. We want to allow clarification of truth to validate your insight that breaks the illusion of false perspectives in order to follow intuition that leads your soul or our soul into wisdom. So what is that saying? First allowing clarification of truth, because that's, coming from the higher throat chakra. If you're elevating and evolving through the throat and bringing that highest throat chakra part up, la peace lazuli, for those who have it, it's good for the throat and the third eye. But if you're able to have that, the thing to have is clarification of truth. And why I start with that is because we need to be able to have our insight, trusting our insight. And the way to do that is when we allow clarification of truth. It validates the insight. And that is what breaks the illusion. When your insight is validated, right? When you see what you see and it's validated by clarification of truth, you cannot unsee it, right? It's one of those things. And that validation brings you it makes your inner sight become your outer sight. Like, it's like you see it for real in person, even though you're seeing it within. So when it validates that insight, it is that breaks the illusion. Whatever the illusion is, whatever it is that you've been holding on to, yes, it is an illusion. We may call it truth, but it is an illusion. It may be a family tradition, it may be a society's tradition, but it is an illusion. And so when that insight is validated, it breaks the illusion of false perspectives, whatever they may be, in order to then be able to follow the intuition. A lot of times you can't follow the intuition. We're having hard times following the intuition because we don't validate the insight. We did not break the illusion in the first place. Without breaking the illusion and having some kind of accountability and all of that to help you break it, then it's hard to follow the intuition. It's hard to hear that still small voice that leads the soul into wisdom. And the wisdom is really the still small voice, the higher self. And so this is what the strength of the third eye is going to do in helping us in this particular window of what has been happening with this full moon. We need the strength of this third eye. We need to allow the revelation that is going to bring us what we need in the sensations of information. It's a whole nother thing. So with that said, welcome to Third Eye Day. Work it because it works if you work it. Ashe, peace, love, and light.